February, present-day San Francisco. She was beautiful. Not physically, never had been, although in recent months she had begun to deteriorate noticeably, her appearance haggard, almost emaciated. But it wasn't the veneer that interested Nick. It was the sweet emanation from within that had captured his attention, had kept him coming back far longer than he could remember. Tonight she took his breath away. Nick watched her from the shadows, his lovely Cheryl, while she undressed. He knew she was aware of him standing there, patiently waiting. Avidly waiting. However, she gave no indication of such as she removed the blouse she wore from her fragile bird-like limbs. She undid the button at her waist, and her skirt slipped to the floor, pooling languidly at her feet. Stepping free of the garment, she moved across the bedroom as if in a trance, the silk of her chemise whispering softly against her translucent skin. She stopped at a small dresser and mirror and picked up a brush, pulling it through her short dark hair. Somewhat lifeless now, although he never saw her glance at her reflection. After a few indifferent strokes, she replaced the brush next to a box of matches. A pair of candles and iron candlesticks also rested on the dresser. She lit the wicks of both, the sound of the match flaring loudly in the stillness. Sulphur and burning wax singed the air as she picked up the candles and placed one on each of the 2 bedside tables. She crossed the room again and turned off the only lamp, casting the room into flickering, shadowy darkness. Her preparations complete, Cheryl climbed onto the foot of the oversized bed, facing away from the headboard. Coming up on her knees, she moved to the edge of the mattress. Only then did he see life return to her eyes as she searched for him where he had melted into the blackness. "Nicky?" She held out her arms to him. "Nicky, please." Nick stepped forward, naked, the candlelight exposing him. A sigh like the soughing of a lonely wind escaped her pale lips when she spotted him, and her gaze took on an unnatural glow. She loved him unconditionally, mindlessly. He knew what she saw when she looked at him, and he knew without conceit. He was dark eyes, dark hair with high cheekbones, Slavic in appearance. His body was long and lean and strong. And he was handsome, profoundly so, charismatically so, touched by magic. The only thing to mar the perfection was the mark on his right cheek. Even after endless years, it ached occasionally, reminding him, always reminding him. "Nicky," she purred again, and he felt her desire flow out to him, giving him permission. Because of that permission, already a small ember of heat lay banked in his belly. Tonight she would relinquish herself one last time, and tonight would be the sweetest. Only a tiny part of what he sought remained, but it was the choicest part because the last was jealously guarded and reluctantly given. And give freely she must. He could not demand it, could not ease it away without her knowing, although he could use every beguiling artifice at his disposal to make her believe that was what she wanted most. He walked noiselessly across the room, aware that Cheryl watched him with rabid eyes. He reached the bed and, continuing to stand, took her in his arms. How frail she was, he thought, pressing her face against his neck and petting her hair. She clutched at his shoulders with bony fingers that dug into his flesh with surprising strength. Nick sensed the warmth of what he wanted bubbling gently upward from deep inside her, and his breath quickened. He forced himself to go easy, fearing he might crush her fine bones beneath the onslaught of his need.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it. at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.